Blue Jays today, where your boys always got something to say about the Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and today we're going to continue our must-draft series with the must-draft outfielders for the upcoming 2021 fantasy baseball season. But before we get into it, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, comment down below. Who are your must-draft outfielders? Let us know. Or who do you think is going to be in this video? We might already have one of them. And as well, guys, this video is brought to you by Monkey Knife Fight. Promo code TodayJays can get you up to 100% of your first deposit back, up to $50. $50 turns into $100. That's amazing.
Damn, real salesman like there.
I know.
$50 turns into $100. Get the 50 of that and that. It's like, I'll take 50 in the back.
Promo code TodayJays. TodayJays. I'm going. Sell.
That's right. You're getting them.
Promo code TodayJays, guys. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Who wants to start? I was talking, so why don't you go into it?
Well, actually, you know what? I was gonna say maybe it's best if you go into it because I know that you have somebody who is like right at the top, anyways. You know, so like just by ADP, man.
That makes sense.
Might as well start at the top.
That makes sense. So, guys, I usually don't go for people this high for like must drafts because it's pretty obvious, but I feel like this guy warranted a bit of a must draft because he fell a little bit this year. And that guy's Christian Yelich. His ADP is going at 12 right now in the second round, and for reasons so. He doesn't fit in that first round because he had a down year last year, just like reason why Cody Bellinger isn't going up that into the first round. Last year was a down year, slash line of 205, an on base of 356, and a slugging of 430. So not MVP numbers that he's used to. But his expected numbers were much better and higher at 250 and 476 slugging, 250 batting average, 476 slugging. But the good news here is that he was still hitting the ball hard. He was up in the 98th percentile in exit velo. 99th in exit velo and 98th in hard hit percentage. That's actually his career best. So then you're wondering, like, why, he was hitting the ball so hard. Why was he hitting on the ground like Vladdy? No.
I was just about to ask that question. I was like, did he do a Vlad?
No, he wasn't doing a Vlad at all. What he was doing is he changed his plate approach a bit. MVP Christian Yelich was getting the ball early in the count. He had a 30% first pitch swing rate in his MVP years in 2019, right? He was attacking pitchers early on the fastball. And in 2020, he was only doing it 13% of the time, getting himself deeper into counts, thus increasing his strikeout rate.
Actually, I'm sorry, finish your thought.
Yeah. He's thus increasing his strikeout rate and getting deeper and K'ing. Where was I right now? Sorry, you go ahead.
I was going to say that it seems that he actually pulled a Biggio.
Yeah,
he's getting pull a Vlad.
Because the thing is, his walk rate went sky high. He went up to the 98%. He's like, I'm going to get more patient, work the counts more. Well, what that was doing was he wasn't attacking that first pitch, establishing that first pitch fastball that pitchers do. He wasn't attacking anymore, so he was Biggioing the crap out of it. And he was more like he was bowing it when he was in his MVP years.
Okay, so my question to you though then is, why do you think that's going to change?
Well, because he recognizes it. He recognizes that he's like, I am way too patient. I need to be more aggressive this year. And I think Christian Yelich is an MVP. He had an OPS in 18 and 19 over 1,000. I expect in the second round he's a must grab on that turnaround because he's gonna do it, guys. Like, no MVP just decides I'm just not gonna go back to my ways anymore. Usually they only don't go back if it's the age. This guy's still young, so draft him in the second round.
And exactly, one thing that you said there is like, because power, right? Like when they don't go back, it's because they can't. Like
they literally cannot.
Gone. And I like the fact that like I'm hoping that you're right. Like he recognizes it. This is a shortened sample size.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm trying to pull up right now like the ADPs of guys because I want to know like who would you take or who would you have this guy over? Because he is so early. Like should people be spending their 8th overall pick on Christian Yelich? Or is
no. I think that's a whole nother video because we're gonna talk because like the pitchers, the starting pitchers,
right?
You got to take those guys. However, you don't want to sleep on this guy.
Okay, because so you're saying that where he's at is definitely
you got to get him. You got to grab him because because people are gonna go, ooh, bad year, don't know, gonna wait on, not gonna take him. But if he's there, once those 3 elite pitchers get off the board, Bieber, DeGrom, and Cole, you grab this guy. You grab him.
I definitely think, because I know people around that area, like our Trey Turner,
Trey
Trevor
Turner,
Story,
Story.
Freeman.
Freeman's a little bit lower than him. I grab Yelich and then I grab Freeman if I'm on like a 10-team league and I'm on a turnaround.
Yeah, me too.
That's
I would
what
definitely do. I'd also take him over Trevor Story as well.
Me too, just because of the question marks.
If I would do Trey Turner, that's closer.
Yeah, it's closer. Especially if I'm in a category league.
But you're right though. I think that Christian Yelich, where he's being drafted, is pretty good value
because he's got upside to be another top 5 player.
Yeah,
like if you miss out on the top 5 players, you're like, oh, I'm butthurt. I want one of them. Well, you got one.
Yeah.
You literally have one right here.
Absolutely. Totally agree, man. So one of my guys, very happy to say that he's on this list, but it's George Springer of the Toronto Blue Jays. Right now, George Springer, he's age 31, so there's no reason to be thinking about any regression at all. And he's being drafted at an average draft position of 47. I think that is excellent value, man, because George Springer, just across the board, has been incredible. He was an all-star in 2017, 2018, 2019, and his numbers are just really good.
And he looks really buff.
He does look really buff. He does look really buff, dude. You know what's crazy, though? His numbers, like, I am sure you've seen his numbers. I can go over them again, but, it's like his numbers are lower than his expected numbers all the time.
Wow.
All the time. And you never, ever see that, guys. Like, that is something so rare. A lot of the times you see players that have, over the courses of their career, expected numbers that are lower than their actual numbers. But over the course of his career, like literally expected batting average, expected slugging, WOBA, weighted on base average, all of the like really important Saber metrics, his expected numbers are way higher than his actual numbers, which are already really high.
Weird.
Which is just telling me that there's like, he's just really great. He's just really great.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking, like, is it the ballpark? I have no idea. Don't quote me on that, but that's incredible.
It's one of those things that instills me with more confidence because I'm like, okay, there's absolutely no reason that this guy could be possibly getting lucky. If anything, he's getting unlucky.
Yeah.
So I know for a fact I can trust him. And when I can pick this guy up in the late 5th round right there? Late 5th round, I think that's amazing because you also got to consider where he's going too. He's going to Toronto and he's going to be with a bunch of studs who can get on base, like Biggio, like Bichette, like Vlad, like Gurriel. He's going to be in a stacked lineup, and that means production.
Yeah, and you know that they're not cheating, so you don't have to be like, there's the cheating thing. Like, I'm not sure. Like, no. And plus, George Springer had a great 2020, so you know that he's legit. And
I also want to put out what we projected him, because I wrote down what our projection for this guy was, and we said, and I'd be very happy with getting this level of production in the 5th round.
Yeah,
and I think this is a safe level of what we predicted. But he's gonna have 550 at bats. He's gonna have a slash of 279, 372 on base, and 551 slugging. 109 runs, 36 home runs, 91 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. I think that we actually skimped out on the home runs, and I think he's going to have more than 36 when I look back at this, because when I was looking at his expected slugging numbers and his actual slugging numbers, and then noting that in 2020 he had 14 home runs, and in 2019 he had 39 home runs and 479 at-bats.
And he was injured that year.
Yeah, this guy's money for 40 home runs. Wow. He's money to like be potentially like 2nd round, maybe even 1st round value in the lineup that he's at. If he stays healthy for the whole year, draft George Springer and be happy about it.
I want him. I can't wait to watch that. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And love George Springer. And one of his former teammates is one of my next mouse drafts, and that's Michael Brantley coming in. He's 33 years old, but I like to call him old reliable. You want to talk about safe? You draft Michael Brantley. Michael Brantley, especially with his round, he's projected to go somewhere between the 13th and the 16th round. You're basically you're going through garbage at this point.
Yes.
And his ADP is at 133. So if you're like, I don't really know any of these guys, these are no names. I don't know if I've never done my research. If you find Michael Brantley and you're panicking, you grab Michael Brantley because he's going to save you. Why? Because in the last 3 years, He's had a batting average above 300, an on-base percentage above 364, and an OPS above 830. That's amazing for a guy who isn't known for his power. He's known for getting on base and putting up quality at bats. He's a straight-up professional. He's going to do it again. And if he declines a little bit, what? He gets like 280 and on base of 340. He's going to put up professional at bats, so he's got a safe floor with that on base percentage. And, you know, talking about the cheating scandal, if the Houston Astros come back around and they're like, all right, we're going to go back to playing baseball like normal people again, and they put up good numbers like Bregman, Altuve, and Tucker now, and Alvarez.
Yeah.
He's going to put up great, meaty peripheral numbers.
Correa, too.
You're going to want to draft Michael Brantley in that middle of that Houston lineup.
Yeah, I feel that Michael Brantley is, you know, and maybe there's a difference between him and some of the other guys that we're going to talk about. I don't think that there's league-winning upside with Michael Brantley. But what there is there's definitely not league-losing downside. I think
reliable.
I really think that you draft him, you slot him in as, like, your second outfielder, and you just leave him there for, like, literally the whole season.
You don't have to worry at all.
You know, he'll just be chilling.
Yeah.
Being a guy, being a dude who could, you know, just being good and getting you stuff done.
Yeah.
So
at round 13 to 16, like that's like, you know, 130 and 160 players in a 10-team league. He's got upside to be a solid 80, you know, top 80 in the league.
No,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean?
Like when we're going by like points and stuff, like I feel like this guy is like, if you get him, Michael Brantley will probably chill somewhere around like 75th to 100, like in and around that range. But that's still great value for where you're getting him at. And and I feel like if this guy stays healthy, then he will do it. The only thing is injury, but I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
I wouldn't be worried about that. He isn't too much of a crazy history. I know he was injured a little bit last year, but when I had him in 19, that's why also he's here a little bit biased. But also, I love Michael Brantley. I love the way he approaches the game. Just a pure professional. He's solid. He's gonna give you. He's a professional. He's gonna show up to the ballpark. He's gonna put up numbers, and he's gonna leave. Job well done.
For sure, man. I agree. Talking about injuries, my next guy, that I didn't think that I would put on this list at all because of injuries, is on this list, and it's Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton has not been able to stay healthy for the last 2 years. It hasn't happened. He's literally had 76 at-bats in 2020 and 59 in 2019. That's not good at all. In fact, that's pretty garbo. The injuries have piled up, and they have riddled him, and people that have spent high on his draft capital, which you had to do in the past, have suffered. Now he doesn't have league-losing downside because you can draft him in the 12th round.
Incredible.
Going into 2019, you had to draft him in the second round.
Not worth it.
And then in last year, it was something like 7th or 8th. Now it's literally the 12th. And at this price, I am so willing to pay that because he is a lottery ticket. And if he does pay off, then you're going to cash in. His career OPS is 905. That is higher than the likes of Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper, Springer, all of these dudes who are getting drafted way earlier than this guy. Stanton has been elite. He will smack the dingers, and even in the years where he wasn't healthy in 2020 and in 2019, when he came back, he still had OPSs of almost touching 900. So injury's not the problem here. Injury is the problem here. But even when he's been hurt, like he's been amazing when he's been on the field.
Yeah, and then let's picture this, guys. I know a lot of people, like myself too, thinking about drafting him. I'm like, I'm not sure because of injury. Well, think of it this way. You draft him at this great value of the 12th round, where now, like, there's still some good players around, but they're, now it's starting to get garbage land. You draft him, when he's healthy, he's going to put up, like, 5th round plus value, right? Yeah. And you don't have to pay a 5th round to get him. And if he does get hurt, outfield is the most, like, like deepest position. Teoscar Hernandez was on the free agency last year.
Yeah.
Mike Yastrzemski was on. I don't even know how you say his name. He was on.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know. Why did I say that? He was on the free agency last year. So many guys. Kyle Lewis on the free agency. So it doesn't even matter if he goes down because that guy you're going to pick up off free agency is going to replace that 12th round value.
Man, I think it's insane that you actually need to pay like an 8th round for Teoscar Hernandez, who has had like what 45 good baseball games in his whole career,
and Stanton,
whereas
Stanton he's injured.
has been hurt, but has been literally dominant in his whole career. And another thing too, that's really good to note, is that apparently he has changed his workout routine. It seems that like
yoga,
literally like him and Aaron Judge have realized that this is not working for them. They keep getting hurt. And so they've changed it. So they're looking at more, less of like building up the muscle and more of making it flexible muscle. This is something that Tom Brady preaches. And this is why he's at age 43 winning Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't get ripped. He gets like malleable, but he's still fit. And that's what this guy's trying to do. So to hear that he's working on that makes me a little bit even more confident. And if you can take this guy as your second outfielder, which is what you're doing, then
he could be a rock.
He could literally, and we want to talk about league winning upside in the 12th round. This is league winning upside. Whereas you could pay like the 5th round for Aaron Judge, or
bust.
Or you could wait until the 12th, get literally almost the exact same player.
You could grab George Springer and Stanton.
I think literally. I might, dude. I think I might. Like, you know, and it's just no. Draft him.
I feel like our whole teams are going to be all this series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the one thing that I keep worrying about, man, is like we have these videos out, and we've told our friends to go watch them.
Yeah, they're like, just going to snipe
literally,
us the
dude,
whole
like
time.
I'm going to get into this draft, and I'm going to end up with like all these losers that I hate because like I told everyone who I like.
Yeah, literally. Oh, guys, don't snipe us, please. I might do a lot of reaching in that draft.
Probably.
Yeah, knowing that.
You know what the thing is? For this guy like Stanton, I'm ready to draft him in like the 9th. I'm ready to reach up like 2-3 rounds to get this guy. So I might just do it. Because like I know my own analysis. Yeah. I know I'm right about this.
Yeah, exactly. That's right, guys. We know. We know. All right, guys. So finally, for my last guy. I got this guy. This is a very late round guy. The round is between 17 and 20. Average draft position of 171. That guy is Trey Mancini on the Baltimore Orioles. Now, Mancini kicked cancer's ass, and he's ready to kick some ass back in Baltimore. In 2019,
comeback player of the year.
Comeback player of the year. Honestly, he is. We talked about this the other day. He is the number one, I think, in my opinion. For him and Carrasco already played, but like definitely him. He's come back.
Well, didn't Carrasco win it last year?
Possibly, I'm not sure.
I think that he did. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong. I'm pretty confident that he did
because he was great last year.
He was dominant.
So Mancini in 2019, just to remind you guys, like he did damage at 291. His slash line was 291, 364, slugging of 535, and his OPS was 899, just touching, and he hit 35 home runs. And who did he have around him? It was just him. He had Villar. Like that was it. But now he's joining a Baltimore team where in this little pocket, he's got Mountcastles and Santander, and they're also going to get one of their top prospects coming up this year. Mm-hmm. So in that, now he's got actually a little bit more reinforcement, you know?
Right.
And he's still in the prime of his career at 28 years old. And I was willing to pay a 12th round for Trey Mancini last year.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed other than beating cancer. And now he's going to the 20th round.
If anything, that makes me more confident.
Like
this guy is like he's going to appreciate this more than anything. Like he just fought for his life, bro.
Exactly.
You think that he's going to strike out on you?
No.
This guy's going to fight.
The fact that he's going down this late actually blows my mind, and I am absolutely going to I'm honestly going to reach for him maybe in the 14th round. Like if I'm panicking too and I don't see anyone, I'm going to have him already on my queue. Yeah. Trey Mancini, just grab him. He's safe. Sure. He's going to put up numbers and be like easily he could be a top 50 fantasy player.
Yeah, no, I like Trey Mancini a lot, man, and he should like bat in the heart there, whether it's 2nd, 3rd, or 4th on Baltimore. Like, but and that's another thing too. Very rarely when you get down this late, especially there, are you gonna find somebody who is batting in the heart of the lineup.
Yeah,
you know. Stanton will bat fourth on the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's a coveted position in fantasy. Trey Mancini, albeit on Baltimore, isn't as great, but you're grabbing him literally like 8 rounds later. And as long as you're getting a guy who's batting like third and who can put up those numbers, that's
exactly.
awesome, man.
He didn't even need anyone around him,
Yeah.
when he was doing it before.
It's
And
a
now
great
he
dart
actually
throw.
has like literally something.
Yeah.
He has some potential.
He has some actual question marks. Before
Yeah.
it was literally like, commas, like periods, like
and
not
like
good.
VR, who are you? You busted
no. I like Mancini. That was a good guy to toss on here. Oh, also too, first base eligibility.
Exactly.
Something to note.
Exactly. You can always slot him in there just in case.
So my last guy, getting an average draft position of 116. He's 30 years old, and he's only played in 2 seasons in the MLB, is the guy that you brought up, and I'm going to butcher his last name.
I have no idea.
Mike Yastrzemski, I believe is how you say it.
Zemski, yeah.
Something like that. I was going to say correct me in the comments below, but I'm like, how are you going to do that?
I guess you got to
phonetically.
literally.
Tell me how you say his name.
Yastrzemski.
But anyways, Mike is what I'm going to call him from here on out. Has only played 2 seasons, and in that has had 563 at-bats. In both of those seasons, though, he has been awesome, man. Like in 2019, a 272 batting average. In 2020, a 297 batting average. Sluggings, both over 500. Very, very good. Like you said, you got this guy on free agency last year, and now he's getting drafted, and for good reason. I love the fact that he has 563 career at bats, because that's basically a full season. So when you look at his production numbers and his slash, you can go, oh, so this is what I could potentially expect over a full year. So I'll read those off. 281 batting average, 357 on base, 535 slugging, 103 runs scored, 31 home runs, 90 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases.
Wow.
This is stuff that you can get in literally the 12th, 13th round. And I just think that that's really good value, because there's nobody else on the San Francisco Giants. Like, there's literally no one else.
Buster Posey. I think they have one other guy that it's like could be a person.
Offense is going to run through Mike. Like, whenever they score runs, I feel like this guy is going to be a part of it. And it's like, who are we paying up for in the second round? People like Bo Bichette. People like who've only had 300 some at bats, and who arguably have been elite.
And there's more media around Bo Bichette. Honestly, media influences the draft.
There's a lot of pedigree, dude. It's like you look at somebody like Keston Hiura, and I do think that Keston Hiura will develop into a great MLB player at some point. But I mean, like, he was really bad last year, and like, he really hasn't had that many career at bats, and you got to get him in like the 7th. This is somebody who has zero media around them, but I really think is just an overall good MLB player that the media has forgotten about. And you can grab this guy here and be like, hey, I saw this coming. When nobody was on this guy, I saw this coming, and I took this guy in literally the 12th, 13th round and got an absolute rock.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, same thing. Like, even with Mancini, like, there's no media in Baltimore. No one's talking about Baltimore right now.
And that's part of it too. Like, these teams suck.
They
exactly. Suck. No one's talking about the San Francisco Giants right now. It's not exciting.
They are like a little bit. They might make a little bit noise even though they're in that division. They're not going to win or even be close to winning that division. But there is talk that like they might do more than people think. But yeah, they do suck, because in that division you got the Padres and you got the Dodgers. Like, who are you going to talk about?
If they're going to do more than people think, I think it's going to be through this guy, dude. I think this guy will be the guy. So honestly, if I looked at my 3 outfielders, and those were my 3 outfielders of George Springer, Giancarlo Stanton, and Mike Yastrzemski.
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy with that, man.
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Guys, that is our must draft outfielders for the 2021 fantasy baseball campaign. Let us know in the comments down below, who are you going to be drafting, and is there anyone that we missed that you are definitely targeting in these rounds? Let us know.
Yeah, guys, you can check us out on Spotify, Breaker, Anchor, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Instagram, always popping off on there. Twitter, I dropped some fire tweets today, guys. And we also
90 wins. 90 wins must.
Yeah. Did a couple other ones today that people really liked. So, we also got another guy doing it too, Dylan. He does good stuff.
Dylan's solid.
You'll know my tweets when you see him. Also, TikTok, Relevant, join our Relevant chat. We're going live on there pretty frequently. We found that literally 1 or 2 people come in and they get kind of a private show. So
yeah,
they really enjoy it. We just answer their questions.
Yeah.
Merchandise, as you can see, makes you like a much cooler guy than you typically are. As Adam is like uber cool right now.
Yeah, super cool.
And,
goes with the Blue Jays gear.
And today, Jays, our promo code.
That's
please
right.
Use it. Deposit your money, bet money, and then we will make money on this podcast from you doing that.
Because we need this, guys. This needs to be a job one day in the future.
Oh god, yeah.
Because like right now it is oh my god, it's literally 10 p.m. We've worked both of our jobs today. We've did our research after. I created graphics for this.
Yeah, we had a phone meeting with someone
today. Phone meeting.
It's like I'm so sick and tired of doing these things when I'm like literally like negative energy and need my cocoon. That's my bed. At literally 10 or we used to do them at like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm happy,
back in the restaurant.
Yeah, back in the restaurant days. I'm happy that we don't do these at 2 a.m. anymore.
No.
But I mean, I would love to do them at like 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah. But we'll think about now. Like after this, I gotta go edit, and that's gonna be about an hour because then I gotta make like some other things along with it, and then I gotta get up early at 6:45 to then go to my job, and then I'm gonna come back here. Guys, we don't want to do that. We want to do this full time. Use the promo code; it will help us out a lot, please. Please
and thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays, go.